What's up, everybody, and welcome back to BEMP on the Spot. Yes, as you know, as you can see, we are back for the first time in a couple of months with the premiere of Season 7 of BEMP on the Spot. And as always, I'm going to remind you to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Show your support in any way that you can. We do a lot to come before you on these Thursdays and give you a great show, right? So first and foremost, I want to remind you all that on Tuesday, we had the season premiere of T-Shirts and Tea Tuesdays with Miss Rush and Dr. Goody, where they dropped some gems on you. Now, we got a quick clip that we're gonna run for you. So let's go ahead and see what they were talking about on Tuesday. What y'all trying to do?
When we talk about consumer law, technically and legally, a creditor lender cannot deny you access to credit regardless of your credit score. That is a law, right? It's under the Equal Opportunity Act, right? So what happens is, and it's a long story, but to make a long story short, so the creditors such as Bank of America, Honda, Navy Federal, they are not the original creditors. If we know consumer law, we as the people are the original creditors. So if we are the original creditors, that means that they cannot deny us an extension of our own credit because they're not giving us credit. Right. So we're going into these banks and exercising our own rights and extending credit to ourselves. And this is because back in 1933, the United States went bankrupt. And so when they went bankrupt, there's no way to really pay for anything besides silver and gold. And so as a result, the economy flowed based on the credit of the consumers, which is us. Wow. The banks don't have any money. So when you go into a bank or if you go into a dealership, they make you think they're giving you a loan when they're not giving you a loan. They're creating a fictitious paper for you to sign. Wow. And what happens is when we are all born, there is a Sesticade trust account that's created on every one of us as a U.S. citizen. And what happens is the Department of Treasury actually holds that money. It's worth millions of dollars. And so whenever we go to a dealership or, a bank to ask for anything, the moment they take our social, they've already gotten paid for whatever it is that we're applying for. So any payments after that is all fraud, whether the bank is receiving it, the dealership is receiving down payments for your cars, 100% illegal. It tells you in the law that you cannot mix credit and cash together, right? So if everything is given to us as an extension of our credit, you cannot mix that with a cash transaction. So if anyone has ever put a down payment on their car, I don't care if it's been 25 years, you can get your money back. And that you ever paid with the car, yes, every payment after that, you can get refunded. You just have to know law and you have to know the process. So you can get it all back. It's 100% illegal. And so, and they'll tell you hey, if you put down this amount of money, then we'll be able to make your note, monthly.
That's why, yeah.
A lie. This is, if you're putting a down payment down, that money is going directly to the dealership. It has nothing to do with your loan whatsoever. Because remember, you cannot mix credit and cash in a transaction.
Okay. So if y'all missed that last episode of T-Shirts and Tea Tuesdays, make sure that you go back and check that out when you're finished here. Listen, the Bible says my people perish for a lack of knowledge. That's where we get our knowledge on T-Shirts and Tea Tuesdays. Go there, get educated, drink some tea, and have a little bit of fun, right? And make sure you tune in next week to their episode. And also make sure that you tune in to On the Spot with Taz next week. We have another special guest, Kobe Young from the University of Miami. So be sure to tune in. But tonight, we got to kick off Season 7 with a bang. Our most exciting guest this season, right? Mark Evans II, two-time first team All-SWAC offensive lineman, right? He just declared for the draft, one of the best in college football right now, no doubt. Without any further ado, let's get it.
All I do is win, win.
they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, and you stay there. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the field, everybody hands go.
Tell us about your upbringing. What was your childhood like? What led you to ball?
Well, my childhood, I would say my childhood was, average childhood, playing outside, that type of stuff, But I also feel like the way I was brought up, I had to, kind of mature faster than other kids. That's in the environment I was in and stuff I seen, at a young age, things we went through, But I also feel like, having a single parent and stuff like that, with no father figure around, it's kind of like, you got to grow up real, real fast. Also with having a younger brother, who's looking up to you, that's also a reason, trying to be a father figure and serve as a role model to him and do the right things, try to be somebody he can look up to.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the interesting things, because one of the things that I had here that I wanted to ask you about was your brother. We know that Jesse plays college ball too, so you guys actually had the opportunity to play each other, which is great. So because everybody dreams about that. Like my older brother, I wish my older brother had played longer, so I would have had the opportunity to either play with or against him. You understand what I'm saying? Because I have a history playing ball as well. So what was it like to be able to see? Because a lot of people probably don't know this, but your brother plays linebacker. Right, you're offensive lineman, so you guys are literally, going up against each other, going head to head. What was that like for you to be able to square off against them?
Oh man, that was like a dream come true. In any other way to put it, man, it was like, he's a competitor. We both compete. We both.
Oh yeah.
To go out there and have the opportunity to play against him was just like, it was just amazing. It was like a surreal feeling actually, because as children, playing game football very young, you dream about stuff like that, going out there playing against your little brother, because, we played with each other in high school. So, to be able to go on the next level and be able to play against them, have my parents and my family out there, that was just amazing for the whole family.
Now, no, they say he got one on you. What you got to say about that?
I don't know. You got to go back and check the stats, but I don't think he got one on me, so I can't.
I know when y'all played recently, he ain't get one on you. You locked him up. You kept him off the stat sheet.
He didn't get one on me. He didn't get no sack on me ever. That's one thing I can. You can ask him. He'll tell you himself he never got a sack on me.
So for you, playing high school ball, going back to high school ball for you, when did you start playing? Did you start playing, like Pee Wee, Pop Warner? Or is it something that you started playing? Did you start playing in middle school like people like me did? I started playing in middle school or high school. When did that start for you? Because one thing that I noticed about you, if anybody's watched film on Mark, he is an athletic big man. He is very athletic. He can move. So when did that start? Especially with your growth spurt.
So going back, my path to football is really interesting going back, Because my first what I actually did was I boxed. When that was back when we was in St. Louis, I was boxing. That was my first thing. So I guess that kind of, that's kind of something I can thank to my good footwork and that type of stuff, quick feet. But I tried to play football back in, I think I want to play for Matthew Dickey's, but they said I was above the weight limit or something like that, so I couldn't play. So I was just boxing and basketball. Then, we got to Houston. I played one season, but, I really didn't play. I was just on the sideline. So, it's kind of like, you just there. You ain't really just getting they really not teach you in the game, just on the side. You probably get in for a play so they can check you off and saying that you got in, but you're not really, learning nothing like that. But then next season, I didn't make the way in, so, I wasn't playing football no more. So I really didn't say I really got the chance to actually, learn and play the game of football till, I want to say I got to middle school. Mm-hmm. So around grade, that's when I first, got introduced to the game. That's when I was first playing, real organized football. So instead, 7th grade.
No, it was around the same time for me. And I know that learning curve, especially going from one thing to another, had to be pretty steep. Now, I'm assuming since you're a bigger guy, did they always have you at tackle, or did you play play a little bit of the interior?
Oh no, I was always at tackle, but I played backup center and stuff like that. But I was always literally at tackle, being my size. I was bigger than everybody else when they was when we was in school at that time. So I was always at tackle.
Now, recruiting, what did that look like for you coming out of high school? I know it looks a lot different for a lot of people, especially linemen. It's a lot more difficult to get scouted as a lineman out of high school than it is for skill position players. So what did that look like for you?
Recruiting for me was real slow. You know, I didn't get my first offer until the summer before my senior year of high school football. So I would say that recruiting's real slow. And also, I think that, you know, getting introduced to the recruiting game, it's like a lot of facets that go into it. I mean, like, you know, going to the camps, that play a role in the camps. Twitter also play a role. I was like the Twitter, so, you know, I guess they had a role to play with it too. Twitter, you know, getting with good film, you know, good quality film on there too. So I guess those kind of things that kind of, you know, slowed me down. But I feel like, you know, as my senior year went on, the recruiting, you know, it didn't really pick up like I thought it would, you know. I was getting interest from schools like Kansas State. I mean, they came that the workout period we had when we was like the winter workouts during my junior year, they came like me. They would send me, you know, letters and stuff like that. But it wasn't never really nothing like they was going to, like, offer me anything like that. So as season went on, I was getting offered from, like, you know, a lot of D2, a lot of D3 schools, you know, JUCOs as well. You know, I didn't get the offer from Palm Bluff until later on. Like, this was like right before I was going to graduate. That's when I got the offer to Palm Bluff. So I was actually committed to Navarro Junior College, and that's where I was planning to go. But then, you know, Palm Bluff came in. It was a D1 school. You know, I didn't want to pass it up, so I just took it and ran with it.
Now, Pine Bluff, a lot of people don't know, and people probably coming into today have never heard of University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, right?
I ain't heard. I got the offer. I ain't even know nothing about it. So
And now, a lot of people, the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff is an HBCU, right? And just sort of because I debate with people a lot of times because I went through the recruiting process as well. And I think a lot of people think similarly as it pertains to HBCU. So I get in a lot of heated debates with people about this. HBCU, your first choice, and when you were thinking about college, and what impact did you going to an HBCU have on you? What impact did that have on you?
I would definitely say, to answer the first part of your question, I would definitely say that going to HBCU was not my first choice. And that's not because, you know, it's not a choice. That's not because it was my preference to go to a PWI. It was just the fact that I simply didn't, you know, I know a lot about HBCU. So, you know, that's kind of why I didn't, you know, have the chance to, you know, just think like, oh, yeah, I'm finna go here, I'm finna go there. But it's just because I simply didn't know about the HBCU. But at HBCU, you know, if I can go over, you know, I would definitely choose HBCU again if I had the chance to, you know, go through this process again. I would definitely choose HBCU just because off the fact that, you know, the life lessons to teach you by going to HBCU. You know, we also, you know, we're having, you know, not a lot of resources and stuff like that. You know, it's simply easy, you know, to learn how to get it out the mud and get things. You know, you're not expecting nothing to get handed to you. Everything you get, you're gonna take. You're gonna go out there and take it, and you know, you ain't really expecting no handout or nothing like that. So that's one thing I can say with going to HBCU, and also just the experiences. You know, just being around your people. You know, it's nothing better than being around your people and playing for your people, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing that you know I have to explain to a lot of people because people get mad when you be like, man, HBCU wasn't my first choice, but the thing is like we're not really educated in high school on HBCU.
All you hear about is gods and that type of stuff. So if
exactly.
you don't know nothing about it, you're obviously not gonna have, you know, that chance to, you know, I obviously want to choose it because you don't know what it is.
Exactly, and that's what I try to explain to a lot of people, and people take offense to it. It's like it's not that we have an issue with HBCUs. We don't know about HBCUs, and it's not like you're seeing, like when you go to watch college football Saturdays, right? You're not seeing HBCUs all over the TV. You understand what I'm saying? So
WIs, you know, you're seeing SEC schools, so you know, obviously, you know, schools you're gonna be like, oh, I want to go there, I want to go here, that type of stuff. So.
And that sort of leads me into this next question as it pertains to Dion and JSU, right? What impact do you believe? Because you were actually in college prior to Dion's entrance into SWAC, into SWAC conference. What was that transition like? Did SWAC feel a difference when Dion arrived?
I mean, I went to Arkansas. I went to UAPB, so I would say personally, I didn't feel a difference because, you know, I feel like when him coming, it had none to, you know, it didn't have no positive nor negative effect on me. So I really don't feel like I had a big difference. But I would say that the things he did for Jackson State was crazy. You know, you can't take that away from him. He came, you know, he changed up a lot of stuff. He gave them, you know, a lot of more firepower in the SWAC, you know, with coming in, you know, and the SWAC championship back to back. You know, you don't see that like that. So I will say I congratulate him because he came in, he did change Jackson State for the better.
I mean, and now not only did he come in and do what he did for JSU, but he encouraged guys like Ed Reed, who's going to be being a head coach at Bethune-Cookman now, right? So now you're starting to see that chain reaction where, you know, he went on to a bigger opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people have an issue with the fact that he went on to a bigger opportunity, a bigger school, but people don't understand that that's what athletes do too. Right? When you go from college, what are you doing? You're declaring for the NFL draft, right? The NFL draft, every football team is owned by a white owner, right? You're going to a white National Football League, right? So we can't condemn a coach for wanting to go and coach at a bigger opportunity, but congratulate and clap for the players when they go and do something similar or the same thing, right? What's your perspective sort of on that?
I feel like the reason why he was getting so much backlash was because of the simple fact that he came in preaching all this pro HBCU stuff. And, you know, when you preach that stuff, come in, you know, you leave for a PWI when you know you was kind of just going to back that HBCUs should be, you know, up to par with them. And then you go up there and leave. It's like, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like, you know, yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's a lot of that comes from 100%, definitely from hurt. You know, it's sort of a sense of, you know, betrayal where it's like, you know,
kind of the way the fans feel like they betrayed him. But, you know, in this game, you know, this a business. You know, people don't tell you that this a business. You know, if you get a better opportunity, 9 times out of 10, you're going to take it no matter what. So you just got to put yourself in his shoes. And, you know, if it was your family and, you know, you're trying to move up in the, you know, trying to potentially coach in the NFL, what would you do? So.
Absolutely. Now, you just declared for the NFL draft a couple weeks back. What was the feeling for you? Because, you know, you think about your entire journey up to this point, right? Not everybody gets into a position where they're able to do what you're about to do, right? So when you think about, you know, from the 7th grade all the way up to now, all that work that you put in, what's the feeling for you when you finally had the opportunity to write those words that you're declaring for the 2023 NFL draft? What was that feeling like for you?
The feeling was amazing. You know, I was going back, you know, back and forth for trying to find the right words, you know, just trying to thank my school, UAPB, first of all, for giving me that chance to, you know, go and, you know, pursue this